Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. Today we have an article talking about Saudi Arabia is big profits now, bigger than ever, due to the oil price increase, due to the sanctions, and that's one reason. That's one aspect of the uh, article, and the other one is, as you probably know, Saudi Arabia diversified its investment in a way that they are the oil producers. Obviously, that's the main thing they had. Now, at one point, they decided, wait a second, this oil will go away, and if someone imposes sanctions or an embargo on our oil, we have no revenue anymore. So then, at a certain point, they started investing that money in profitable assets and industries and properties and assets and blah blah blah, stock markets, and they did all kind of stuff, and they diversified this revenue they got. They started investing, so in case that they're going to run out of oil, they have revenue coming from many other sources. And where do you invest? Where do you invest as an investor? You invest your money where's the most profitable in the long term and the short term. And since Saudi Arabia had a ton of money and huge revenue coming, and imagine how big what's the population of Saudi Arabia compared with the revenue, they can invest, they can beat each and every person or any state almost on the global market on any auction or bid. So they obviously invested in the United States, invested in the Western Europe, and the thing is, by investing, they created here investing capital. They invested, and these economies could grow, by through investments and expand. So if they stop doing that, that means those economies will not have an influx of finances going and resources going in them. So then they have to work on their own or find other investors, which in the time of crisis, there's not too many. But in this time when oil is high, we have the countries who are able to save that money and the profits and reinvest. Well, guess what? Saudi Arabia says, well, stop for a second. So that's going to affect other markets and other players, global players. This article is from oilprice.com. And all right, what is it? Uh, on May 26th, 2022, this is the title. Saudi Arabia is not spending its oil windfall. She's not spending it. What are you doing with it? You keep it in your sock. There's going to be, it is inflation, so you're going to lose every second. I don't know what they're going to buy. Let's see what they do with it. Saudi Arabia, the world's top crude oil exporter, will hold the huge, again, I thought it was a hedge, the huge revenues in its currency, receiving at $100 plus oil in its current account, and will not immediately spend it on development, growth, and diversification projects as it did in the past boom cycles for oil prices. After years of budget deficits, when oil prices slumped in 2015 and 2016 and in 2020, the kingdom is now enjoying a budget surplus, but is not in a hurry to boost government spending. And I'm quoting, the surplus achieved in first quarter is shown in the government current account and has not yet been deposited to government revenues or nor transferred to other groups. Saudi Arabia Finance Minister Mohammed Al Jadaan said in a statement to Bloomberg, and I'm quoting, this allocation will occur after the surplus is realized, which means after the closing of the fiscal year, end quotes, the minister added. Saudi Arabia, which has suffered through the previous busts in the oil industry when reserves quickly vanished, with oil prices crumbling, now looks to have a fiscal sustainability plan under which reserves don't drop below a certain share of GDP. According to the policy, our reserves shall not fall below a certain percentage level of GDP. That figure would be in the double digit. Al Jadaan told Reuters earlier this week. Currently, Saudi Arabia is enjoying a windfall from the high oil prices. The kingdom booked a budget surplus of $15.3 billion. That is that's 57 billion Saudi riyals in the first quarter of 2022. So $15.3 billion surplus in the first quarter of this year, 2022. The Ministry of Finance said earlier this month. Oil revenues soared by 58% to $49 billion between January and March. Great. Good job, Saudi Arabia. Is that because of the sanctions imposed on Russia by the Western countries? Or is it because of the war in Ukraine? If, as I said, Russia would have invaded Ukraine and nobody would sanctions, we would not have this, but we have it. The value of Saudi Arabia's oil exports soared by 123%, or by $16.7 billion in March 22 compared to the same month last year. 123% jumped compared with the same month last year, the General Authority of Statistics said yesterday. The full year 2022 oil reserves in Saudi Arabia are expected to surge by 66% to around, I don't have air, $249 billion. $249 billion. The oil revenues, my God. They're doing great, right? They're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. And guess what? They're not going to invest their money. They're going to make sure they have a little budget over there for bad times that might occur in the future. But nevertheless, look at these guys. And so are other oil companies. It's not only the Saudi Arabians. The Russians are having a profit. Shell has a profit. BP has a profit. Venezuela has profit. Iran, they all have it. They'll try to, now it's a reshuffling of the market. Now Russia is kicked from here, but they're going to say, okay, we're going to pay it. We're going to sell it for less. Who buys it? Everybody, oh, whoop. So then they make the revenue back by selling it cheaper but more. It's the same. Instead of selling one car a year at, let's say, $100,000, I sell, let's say, 4 cars a year at $25,000. So yeah, I'm going to get same revenue. I'm going to sell more. Yes, in the long time, you actually going to sell four units for 1 unit that you used to, but you get the revenue until the big dip that's occurring right now with these sanctions and Ukraine thing was going to wane away and things settle down, and we're going to have 2 markets. One, 30 countries, 30-some countries, we're going to be the club, and the other one will be the other club formed on the framework of Russia and China. I don't know where Saudi Arabia stands yet, but I think they're going to be opportunistic, which they should, because you should care about your people in the first place, and then people across the globe. That's the second, third, first, third, fifth, fourth, whatever concern for you as a leader of a country. But nevertheless, some people pay more attention to other people's problems than to their own people's citizens' problem. We know what we're talking about, right? These sanctions hurt Russia, but hurt me too, and hurts Americans too. Most of us, not certain individuals who make a big profit. Well, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.